Antarctica, the last great wilderness on Earth, has long been regarded as a frozen landscape of minimal human interference, governed by international treaties designed to preserve its pristine nature. However, recent developments suggest a brewing scramble for Antarctica, driven by its untapped resources and strategic significance. In this analysis, I delve into the complexities of this new geopolitical dynamics, exploring the implications for global power structure and the future of international cooperation. In the vast, icy expanse of Antarctica, a silent but intense competition unfolds. Nations have laid claims based on geographical proximity and historical ties, envisioning a future where these claims could crystallize into tangible sovereignty. The Antarctic Treaty, established in 1959 and signed by 12 countries, set the groundwork for the peaceful use of Antarctica, emphasizing scientific exploration over territorial claims or military activities, so we thought. This treaty now binds over 50 nations in a commitment to maintain the continent's neutrality and protect its environment. However, the increasing interest in Antarctica's natural resources, including vast reserves of fresh water, minerals, and potential oil and gas deposits, is putting unprecedented pressure on this international agreement. Moving into the 21st century, the principles that once stabilized international relations, including those governing Antarctica, are now under siege. The once solid ground of the Antarctic Treaty is eroding, with the original spirit of peaceful scientific collaboration and demilitarization increasingly viewed through a lens of strategic competition. This shift is part of a larger global trend where the Cold War and post-Cold War treaties are being reevaluated or discarded as nations reassess their strategic interests. In this new era, treaties are often seen not as binding obligations, but as flexible suggestions, subject to reinterpretation based on national interest rather than collective agreement. Then what about the strategic and political dynamics in Antarctica? As of 2024, Antarctica hosts at least 82 bases from more than 30 countries, reflecting its growing importance on the global stage. Notably, China has significantly expanded its presence with 5 bases, 3 of which were built in the last decade, emphasizing the region's strategic and resource value. This surge in interest is not solely for scientific research. Antarctica's role in modern military strategies, such as the potential deployment of fractional orbital bombardment system known as FOBs, and its capability in signal intelligence. Why is this important? Because it underscores its dual-use potential. Equally important, the economic factor comes to play a major role, especially when considering Russia and China's joint ventures in the Arctic, as the latter has been financing projects there to have oil and gas transported via pipelines. Historical context and territorial claim. At the dawn of the Antarctic Treaty, both the US and the USSR reserved the right to claim any part of the continent, a stance inherited by the Russian Federation. This open claim policy reflects the unique and contentious nature of territorial rights in Antarctica, which are determined by an unratified but widely recognized pie slice model. This model divides the continent into segments extending from the South Pole to the borders of the nearest sovereign states, aligning territorial claims with national proximities. The resource rush in Antarctica. Well, Antarctica is believed to hold some of the world's largest unexploited reserves of precious minerals and metals, including coal, iron ore, copper, and possibly significant oil and natural gas deposits beneath its ice sheets. These resources are increasingly attractive as global demand intensifies and existing mineral supplies dwindle or become geopolitically complicated to access. The potential discovery of oil and gas has drawn intense interest from energy-hungry nations, given the global struggles with energy security and the shifting dynamics in oil production worldwide. Then comes China's strategic expansion in Antarctica and beyond. Well, the implication for global governance and regional power dynamics will change. In February 2024, China marked a significant milestone in its polar ambitions by inaugurating the Ross Sea Scientific Research Station, known as Qingling or Quinling, strategically positioned near existing stations operated by the United States, New Zealand, South Korea, Italy, Germany, and France. This development is not isolated, but it is part of China's broader strategy to enhance its capabilities and influence in Antarctica and globally, challenging the existing international order and regional power structure. What many do not know is that the Arctic is home to more than 97% of Russia's reserves of platinum and 40% of Russia's reserve of tin. But first, what is tin? According to Brian Colwell, tin metal is found in every life and is essential to an industrial society. In many applications, there is no completely satisfactory substitute for tin, making this metal an important strategic and geopolitical mineral. But tin's strategic importance is nothing new. In fact, tin has been essential for a nation's sovereignty for thousands of years. This metal is used to prevent corrosion and to produce glass. It's most often found mixed or alloyed with other metals. Pewter, for example, is mostly tin. You may wonder what tin has to do with China, Russia, the Arctic, or Europe for that matter. Well, consider this. Currently, 97% of the world tin supply comes from developing economies, and approximately 40% of it comes from artisanal and small-scale miners, making the industry highly unsustainable. Moreover, most of the world's tin is obtained through alluvial mining, which is detrimental to the environment. Then what about the use of tin? Tin is most used in semiconductors. Over 50% of the world tin is used as an electronic solder for joining circuit boards. The demand for semiconductors is surging, and the global semiconductor market is projected to double in the next 5 years from approximately $400 billion in 2021 to about $803 billion in 2028. The strong growth is driven by demand for emerging technologies such as electric and autonomous vehicles, which, by the way, revenue from this segment alone is growing at a 5-year 21% CAGR, which is a measure of the average annual growth rate of an investment over a period of 5 years. It is also for artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, for example, 5G, 6G, Internet of Things, as well as consumer electronics. Do you know that China is the world's largest tin producer and consumer, accounting for approximately 30% of the global tin supply and 47% of the global tin consumption as of 2022. However, China's tin production has consistently declined over the past few years, along with the global tin reserves. According to U.S. Geological Survey projection, this trend is expected to continue, and the supply deficit is expected to worsen beyond 2023. Electric vehicle sales, for example, are set to reach 50% of the new car sales by 2030. Recent events have further worsened the global tin supply situation. In the first quarter of 2023, Minsour, which is the second largest refined tin producer in the world, suspended operations due to protests in Peru. Indonesia, for example, the second largest tin producing nation, has announced plans to limit or ban tin exports with the intention to create economic benefit within its border by processing the metal inside the country. Myanmar, or Burma, the third largest tin producing nation, has declared a complete ban on mining from August 2023 to protect its remaining mining resources. The country accounted for 77% of China's tin ore imports in 2022. What about Europe, you may ask? Well, given its economic state, many wonder how is Europe going to ensure access to energy to fuel its economy. One way of doing that is having oil and gas delivered through pipeline, which will need major access to tin. This leads me to talk about this video's sponsor, Ibero-American. Ibero-American is a hard rock lithium exploration company focused on advancing its 100% owned Alberta 2 and Carliota properties located in Galicia region of northwestern Spain. The Pinuta mine is in the municipality of Viena de Bolo on the central eastern edge of the province of Ornes. And once the acquisition by Ibero-American is complete, it will be one of the only tantalum and niobium mines in production in Europe. The Pinuta mine project, once the acquisition of the Pinuta mine is complete, Ibero-American intends to restart production at the mine and to continue to exploit the mineral resources that were certified by SRK in their technical report dated back in March 5th, 2021, allowing the company to fully develop the open pit mine to exploit cassiterite, which is tin, tantalum, and niobium, and also allowing the exploitation of the industrial minerals that exist in the mine, such as quartz, feldspars, and micas. And by the way, the Pinuta mine will be one of the only tantalum and niobium mines in production in Europe. The company's flagship assets will soon be the Pinuta tin tantalum mine, one of the largest tin mines in Europe. They plan to put it back into production imminently upon completion of the acquisition of the Pinuta project and become profitable. The crown jewel, the gem, is the Pinuta project for the company, which the current owner, by the way, has spent over 5 years and tens of millions of dollars to develop into one of Europe's largest tin mine, but is now selling it to Ibero-American. US stock ticker is IBRLF. It was sold for only 6 million Canadian dollars. After the transaction is complete, Ibero-American's market cap will roughly be about 22 million US dollar, whereas the current owner, while the mine was still running smoothly, traded for about 78 million US dollars. That is the beauty here. I am looking into this company because of the investment opportunities and the potential ROIs, return on investments. I see it moving forward. And why am I interested also? Is this because the company will have the access to one of the only 10 mining operations in Europe? What I can also share with you about Ibero-American, stock ticker US IBRLF, is that it is one of my top commodity stock for 2024. Ibero-American team also including many talented and qualified personnel. Let's start with Gene McBurney, who is the chairman of the board of directors. Gene's 25 years international banking experience, leading multiple landmark transactions in the mining and natural resources sectors. He is well suited to make the company profitable. Another key player is David T. Young. David has over 20 years of experience as an investor, advisor, and operator across a range of industries. He previously served as a principal at the Carlyle Group, one of the world's largest private equity firm with over $300 billion in assets. While at the Carlyle Group, part of the leadership team managing over $4 billion in natural resources investments, with a primary focus on upstream developments and midstream related assets. Let me also share with you some of the highlights of Ibero-American. Discovering the untapped potentials of Europe lithium in Galicia, Spain, one of the top mining jurisdictions in the world. 3,685 hectare contiguous lithium exploitation contracts. Pegmatites occur along north and northwestern to south and southeast, striking 27 kilometers corridor. At least 10 pegmatite dikes have been identified via surface mapping with predictable nature and shapes of veins. High-grade lithium confirmed in rock chips samples. Iberian pegmatite crystals have demonstrated ideal quality, size, and scale for optimal processing. The European Commission has passed a Critical Raw Material Act to secure the EU's future supply of lithium and other strategic raw material. Proven management team with a track record of delivering shareholders' values. So, what are you waiting for? You can either invest in Ibero-American today or let this opportunity slip away, as demand for tin is only going to grow moving forward. Ibero-American's stock ticker is US IBRLF. Once again, stock ticker is IBRLF. Check it out. Remember one thing, the global economy is changing, whether we like it or not. Investment opportunities are not going to wait for all of us. Protect your wealth and be smart about your investments. Remember, there are always risks in investments and there is no guarantee of any kind. Thank you.